So this week, what we are going to be focusing on is the breath. It's an interesting thing because when I teach this to groups, oftentimes people are coming to this work because we want to have better orgasms, or we want to connect more with our partners, or we want to feel more sexually alive. And the kind of funny thing is that the first few practices I have you do are actually really about intimacy with yourself, about creating that sacred space, about coming to a deep state of relaxation. And I want to just check in about why that's so important in order to have those explosive full body orgasms that you came for. And that there's a couple of things that as we go on this tantric journey that are really important building blocks. And that is, the first thing that we need to do is kind of thaw out this body vessel. Because we talked about how there's all this tension that most of us at our normal is quite tense for a human body. And so I often think of, before we can enhance and have more explosive and delicious, pleasurable sensation, we have to thaw out a little bit. And as we thaw out, the first thing is just the relaxation and the opening in the body so we can feel something. And then we need to really, I don't want to use the word clear, but I want to say we need to create some space in this body channel. If this channel isn't spacious and open and vibrant and alive and allowing for energy to move, then we can ignite the sexual energy all we want, but we will have a lot of trouble allowing it to sort of flower and move through the body, which is what we want when we're talking about full body orgasms, right? In order for that energy to move through the body, if the body is a bunch of, we can think of it as a cluttered house, right? If it's got tons of stuff, then where is that vibrant energy that we're activating going to move? It's going to bump into things. So here, this process of working with the breath and moving the breath through the body is we're beginning to clear and open this vessel so that when we do get to the igniting, which we will, then there's this a capacity for that intensity to have space to move. And when we go into these very deep, immersive breathing practices, we are creating, so if that doesn't make any sense to you, body vessel and opening and creating space and energy moving, what we're really doing is we are sensitizing the body. If the body is not sensitive because it's got layers of tension, then you cannot allow for more pleasure to be experienced. It just literally can't happen. And there's another piece that I've discovered, particularly for women, is that when we are holding a state of tension and we go into lovemaking, we bring that tension with us, and it actually can become, let me see if the best way I can describe this. It's like we have to rev up a certain engine in order to feel sexually engaged. And we tend to create a lot of tension in order to rev up that engine, and we're in a lot of ways we're overriding a lot of the essence of who we are just to engage, just to get it. And sometimes we're using it as a release. There's like a hunger, depending on which side of the scale you're on. Either you're tense and you're thinking you should, maybe for your partner, so you're kind of powering through something, or there's this hunger like, I need a release, I need that movement. And what we're looking for here is something that is much more holistic and organic when we start to tap into what the body is really capable of, which is very exciting territory. But you cannot get there. There's literally not a route from tension to the kind of opening that we're looking for. The pathway requires deep, deep, deep relaxation, almost that, if you've ever had a massage and you get to that place where you're like, was I asleep or awake? That's that pocket that we're looking for, where the body gets a very real reset, sometimes even more than when we're sleeping, because a lot of us, our sleep is disrupted too a little bit. So we get that vibration, we get that pulse where the body is being deeply nourished by that resting place. And then when we emerge from that, a different kind of arousal can begin to happen when we ignite the energy.